Late at night, a small crescent moon hung low in the dark sky as Sarah drove on a curvy road. Suddenly, flashing lights appeared behind her. Feeling nervous, she pulled over. The comforting hum of her car engine was replaced by her anxious heartbeat. Officer Daniels stepped out, looking authoritative. Despite his reassurance, Sarah felt a bit uneasy. Sarah, a strong woman with a tough past, carried the weight of broken trust and dashed hopes. Officer Daniels seemed like a reliable cop, confident and charming. His words sounded important, but there was something not quite right beneath the surface. As Sarah talked to Daniels, her doubt mixed with vulnerability from past betrayals. Daniels pretended to be a dedicated officer, good at keeping trust. But behind his act, he was a person taking advantage of people's trust in authority figures. The stage was set for a game of deception between an unsuspecting person, Sarah, and a pretend cop, Daniels. Daniels, acting like he had suspicions, tricked Sarah further. Tension rose as he insisted on searching her car, leaving Sarah torn between her gut feeling and the fear she felt. The story got more complicated on the quiet road as Daniels, someone supposed to enforce justice, used his authority to take advantage of Sarah. The road, usually just a way home, turned into a confusing and scary place. In a surprising moment, a second patrol car showed up, bringing a dose of reality to the strange scene. A real officer stepped out, looking at Daniels suspiciously. The story took a sudden turn, showing Daniels was a fake, pretending to be a cop. This revelation surprised everyone, making them wonder how many people might have fallen for this fake cop. The road, which seemed peaceful before, became a dangerous place, teaching everyone that sometimes danger can pretend to be something safe. Feelings like fear, disbelief, and vulnerability filled the story, making it relatable. Sarah's experience mirrored the audience's feelings of doubt and worry. Her story touched on common fears, connecting with anyone who has trusted the wrong person. The emotions went beyond just Sarah's story, showing how everyone can be vulnerable. Daniels, pretending to be someone trustworthy, made people feel angry and afraid, realizing that trust can sometimes be fragile. The setting, usually just a background, turned into a character itself. The moonlit road, police lights, and Sarah's silhouette against the darkness created a clear picture. Every detail added to the suspense, turning the story into a movie that engaged everyone's senses. Suspense hung in the air as the real officer confronted Daniels, providing a satisfying end. However, questions lingered, leaving an uncertain feeling. Daniels got caught, justice was served, but the audience was left wondering why. The story finished with an open ending, emphasizing that recovering from something like this is a journey with unanswered questions. Sarah, on the road to healing, carried the marks of deception, showing that some wounds last a long time. Two disturbing true-fake cop horror stories. On a very dark night, Jake, a tired traveler, drove fast on a lonely highway. A strange quiet filled the air, only broken by the steady hum of his car. Suddenly, red and blue lights lit up his rearview mirror, marking an encounter that would pull him into a nightmarish trick. Jake, a practical and doubtful guy who liked adventure, found himself in a strange situation with Officer Monroe, a mysterious law enforcer. Monroe had a mysterious and charming vibe, hiding a secret plan. Monroe's intentions, not clear, hinted at a more sinister purpose as he had a disturbing conversation with Jake. Things got weirder when Monroe accused Jake of a crime that he said happened nearby. The story got more complicated as Monroe, seeming to chase justice, forced Jake to let him search his car. With every passing moment, the highway turned into a place of deception, making Jake question what was real. The story played out like a dark chess match, with Monroe moving pieces to trick Jake. The highway, once a symbol of freedom, became a maze where every turn revealed a new layer of the mystery. As the tension rose, so did the stakes in this dangerous game between the careful traveler and the mysterious patrolman. The narrative took an unexpected turn when a second patrol car showed up, but this time, it was empty. Jake's confusion matched the audience's confusion as he realized that Monroe wasn't just an officer but a ghostly figure. The Phantom Patrolman, a result of the highway's haunted history, aimed to trap unsuspecting travelers in a supernatural trick. This revelation changed the story from a fake cop encounter to a supernatural thriller. Monroe being a phantom officer added more complexity, turning the highway into a haunted place where the living and the spectral clashed. Emotion was a big part of the story as Jake dealt with the eerie realization that he was caught in a supernatural conspiracy. Fear took hold, not just of the phantom officer but of the unknown forces messing with his reality. The audience also felt a mix of suspense and bone-chilling discomfort. The emotional connection went beyond fear to a feeling of deep unease. Jake, representing the regular person, faced not just a physical threat but a mysterious one challenging the limits of reality. The story became a journey into the mind, exploring human fear when faced with the supernatural. The highway, now a ghostly battleground, came alive with ghostly figures and strange lights. The visuals went beyond the normal world, exploring the supernatural. The audience saw the clash between the real and the spectral, with the highway showing the thin line between the living and the dead. Every twist and turn in the story painted a picture of the unknown, creating visuals dancing between reality and the supernatural. The Phantom Patrolman, with his ghostly form, added a visual layer, haunting the screen like a spirit from another world. Suspense reached its peak as Jake, now aware of Monroe's phantom nature, tried to navigate the haunted highway. The ending didn't offer a clean escape. Instead, it delved deeper into the mystery, leaving the audience with a sense of lingering worry. The highway, with its ghostly figures, stayed an unsolved puzzle, a place where the living and the dead met. The story ended with Jake escaping the Phantom Patrolman, but the mysteries of the haunted highway stayed unsolved. The resolution, or lack of it, left the audience haunted by the idea that some mysteries are meant to stay unsolved, echoing in the supernatural corridors. In creating The Phantom Highway Patrol, the narrative embraced the supernatural, mixing horror with a psychological thriller. The highway, once a symbol of freedom, became a haunting story where the line between reality and the spectral blurred, holding the audience's attention until the final ghostly whisper faded away. 3 disturbing true-fake cop horror stories. Hollow Street, a forgotten byway cloaked in perpetual darkness, whispered secrets to those who dared to venture. Emily, an amateur urban explorer with a fascination for the macabre, set foot on this desolate path. The night was thick with an otherworldly quiet, and as she delved deeper into the shadows, she unknowingly stepped into the embrace of a horror beyond imagination. Emily, driven by a morbid curiosity, was an audacious soul unafraid of the unknown. As she treaded the silent street, the shadows themselves seemed to morph into a spectral entity with a malevolent presence. The street, with its twisted history and the entities that lingered within, became a character in its own right, a silent witness to unspeakable horrors. The plot unfurled as Emily stumbled upon an old, decrepit mansion at the street's end. The mansion, an abandoned relic of forgotten times, harbored a dark secret. Each step she took echoed with a chilling resonance, hinting at the malevolence seeping through the cracks in reality. The plot thickened as Emily discovered a collection of eerie photographs capturing the silent agony of the mansion's long-lost inhabitants. The street, it seemed, was a gateway to a dimension where the past and present converged in a haunting dance. The unraveling mystery drew Emily into a whirlpool of horror, where the mansion's secrets bled into the very fabric of the street. The narrative took an unexpected turn when the shadows themselves, imbued with the anguish of the mansion's tragic history, manifested into nightmarish apparitions. The silent street became a theater of horrors as Emily found herself ensnared by the spectral entities, each shadow a harbinger of the mansion's grim past. The twist amplified the horror, transforming the silent street into a realm where the boundary between the living and the dead dissolved. Emily's quest for the macabre turned into a fight for survival as the shadows, once mere observers, sought retribution for the forgotten sins that had stained the mansion's walls. Emotion seeped into the story as Emily confronted the anguish of the mansion's ghostly inhabitants. The photographs, frozen moments of despair, elicited empathy for the tortured souls trapped in a timeless purgatory. Emily's fear mirrored the audience's own trepidation as they witnessed the spectral entity's silent screams etched across the haunted street. The emotional engagement extended beyond fear to a sense of sorrow, a mourning for the lost souls condemned to the silent shadows. The street, once a mere backdrop, became a conduit for emotions that transcended the boundaries of the supernatural, leaving an indelible mark on Emily's psyche. The silent street, with its flickering streetlights and ancient cobblestones, provided a visually haunting backdrop. The mansion, a looming specter in the darkness, became a canvas where the horrors of the past bled into the present. The visual appeal played on the audience's senses, immersing them in a world where the line between reality and the supernatural blurred. The shadows, animated by the agony of the mansion's history, danced in a macabre ballet. Each visual element, from the ethereal apparitions to the decaying grandeur of the mansion, contributed to the atmospheric horror, inviting the audience to witness the silent screams of the haunted street. Suspense reached a crescendo as Emily, surrounded by the relentless shadows, sought a means of escape. The resolution, however, did not offer a conventional escape. Instead, Emily embraced the shadows, allowing herself to become a vessel for the mansion's lost souls. The silent street, once a realm of horror, found a peculiar resolution as Emily, now part of its spectral tapestry, faded into the shadows. The story concluded with a haunting quiet, leaving the audience to ponder the twisted fate of the street and its newest inhabitant. The resolution, or lack thereof, lingered in the air like a ghostly whisper, a testament to the cyclical nature of horror that echoed through the silent shadows of Hollow Street. In The Silent Shadows of Hollow Street, horror transcended the physical realm, intertwining with the supernatural. The street, a silent witness to forgotten horrors, became a stage where the past and present merged in a spectral symphony, captivating the audience until the final, haunting note reverberated in the darkness. For disturbing true-fake cop horror stories. Amelia, a fearless investigative journalist with a penchant for the obscure, delved into the eerie world of an abandoned asylum. The air hung heavy with the weight of untold stories as she stepped into the dilapidated building. Little did she know that the cryptic whispers of the asylum would unlock a door to horrors beyond her wildest nightmares. Amelia, a relentless seeker of truth, carried the weight of her own haunted past. The asylum, a character in its own right, stood as a mute witness to the tormented souls that once inhabited its desolate halls. The spirits that lingered within became characters without a voice, yearning to communicate the unspeakable horrors they endured. The plot unfolded as Amelia, armed with her camera and determination, explored the asylum's forgotten corridors. The abandoned patient records and decaying furniture hinted at a sinister history. The plot thickened as cryptic symbols, etched on the asylum walls, became the focal point of Amelia's investigation. Each symbol told a chilling tale of a forbidden experiment gone awry. The asylum, a breeding ground for unspeakable horrors, became a labyrinth where the line between reality and nightmare blurred. Amelia's investigation became a descent into the heart of madness, where the asylum itself seemed to resist the truth being unearthed. The narrative took an unexpected turn when, in the dimly lit depths of the asylum, the cryptic symbols seemed to come alive. Whispers echoed through the empty corridors, each syllable a spectral touch on Amelia's sanity. The symbols, once mere etchings, became conduits for the tortured souls imprisoned within the asylum's walls. The twist immersed the audience in a world where the supernatural bled into reality. The cryptic whispers, now audible, revealed the asylum's dark secrets, turning the investigative quest into a battle for survival. As the symbols pulsed with otherworldly energy, the boundaries between the living and the dead dissolved. Emotion seeped into the story as Amelia confronted the tortured spirits' tales. The cryptic whispers conveyed not just fear but a profound sorrow, a lament for lives stolen and sanity shattered. Amelia's determination wavered as she became a conduit for the asylum's spectral residents, their emotions intertwining with her own. The emotional engagement extended beyond fear to a sense of empathy for the forsaken souls. The asylum, once a symbol of terror, transformed into a canvas of human tragedy. Amelia, caught between the living and the dead, became a vessel for the asylum's collective anguish, blurring the lines between investigator and victim. The visual appeal heightened as Amelia ventured deeper into the asylum's abyss. The flickering lights, peeling wallpaper, and foreboding shadows created an atmosphere that seeped into the audience's psyche. Amidst the eerie visuals, the cryptic symbols pulsated with an unnatural glow, capturing the audience's attention. The dialogues, whispered by unseen entities, sent shivers down Amelia's spine. In the asylum's haunted silence, the voices ranged from desperate pleas to agonizing screams. Dialogues became cryptic incantations, invoking a sense of dread that transcended the screen. Amelia, engaged in a macabre conversation with the spirits, found herself ensnared in a dialogue that transcended the boundaries of the living world. Suspense reached its zenith as Amelia, driven to the brink of her sanity, sought a way to unravel the asylum's mysteries. The resolution, however, did not offer a clean escape. Instead, the cryptic whispers grew louder, enveloping her in a cacophony of spectral voices. The asylum, once a dormant entity, found a renewed pulse as the tortured spirits found a conduit in Amelia. 5 disturbing true-fake cop horror stories. Raven's Hollow, an isolated village nestled within a veil of perpetual mist, harbored a centuries-old secret. As investigative journalist Daniel Pierce arrived to uncover the truth, the air thickened with an unspoken dread. The village, draped in shadows, seemed to breathe with a sinister life of its own, foretelling a horror that transcended time. Daniel, a seasoned investigator driven by an insatiable curiosity, carried the weight of skepticism and a history scarred by encounters with the unexplained. The village, shrouded in mystery, became a character with its own malevolent personality, each cobblestone and every shadow conspiring to keep its secrets buried. The plot unfurled as Daniel delved into Raven's Hollow's dark past. The villagers, tight-lipped and wary, hinted at a curse that cast an indelible mark on their lives. The investigation deepened as Daniel stumbled upon an ancient tome revealing a ritual that bound the village to a malevolent force. The plot thickened, drawing Daniel into a web of supernatural intrigue that transcended generations. The village itself became a living testament to a horror that refused to be forgotten, and Daniel, unwittingly entangled, found himself navigating a treacherous path where the line between reality and nightmare blurred. The narrative took an unexpected turn when, under the blood moon's eerie glow, the village seemed to awaken. Shadows danced with a malevolent glee, and the villagers' stoic facades shattered into expressions of terror. The twist unfolded as the ancient ritual, thought to be mere folklore, manifested in a spectral procession that traversed Raven's Hollow. Daniel, caught in the surreal procession, witnessed the village's history replayed in a haunting kaleidoscope. The unexpected twist thrust him into the heart of the curse, where the boundaries of time and reality unraveled with each ethereal step. Emotion seeped into the story as Daniel confronted the raw terror etched on the villagers' faces. The curse, a specter that gripped their souls, resonated with an emotion that transcended fear, a collective anguish echoing through the ages. Daniel, no stranger to the unexplained, felt the weight of their torment as he became a reluctant witness to the village's cursed legacy. The emotional engagement extended beyond fear to a sense of empathy for the villagers ensnared in a cycle of perpetual horror. Raven's Hollow, once a quaint village, became a crucible of suffering. Daniel's quest for the truth transformed into a quest for salvation, entwined with the emotional tapestry of the villagers' collective nightmare. The visual appeal intensified as the spectral procession weaved through the mist-shrouded streets. The moonlit village, bathed in an otherworldly glow, became a stage where the supernatural drama unfolded. Each shadow, every cobblestone, contributed to the atmospheric horror, setting the stage for a revelation that defied the boundaries of the living world. In the midst of the haunting visuals, dialogue echoed in a professional horror tone. Whispers carried ancient incantations, and the villagers spoke in hushed tones of an existence bound by a malevolent force. Daniel's dialogue, laced with a mix of disbelief and desperation, conveyed the tension between the rational mind and the encroaching supernatural. Suspense reached its zenith as the spectral procession climaxed with a crescendo of ethereal wails. Daniel, now fully immersed in the village's cursed history, sought a resolution that eluded him. The resolution, however, did not offer a clean escape. Instead, the village's curse clung to him, branding his soul with a mark that transcended the physical realm. The story concluded with Raven's Hollow returning to its dormant state, the mist swallowing the village and its secrets. Daniel, forever marked by the curse, carried the weight of the supernatural encounter, haunted by the knowledge that some horrors could never be exorcised.